Okay, I'm just gonna improvise this intro right here. So, I absolutely love Smash Ultimate. It is literally my favorite game on the Switch. That's all I can really say. Sure, there's a lot of contenders, like, I love me some Mario Kart, I love me some Animal Crossing New Horizons, I love me some Bug Snacks, I love me some, I don't know, Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, I guess. But yeah, that is my favorite game right there, Smash Ultimate. One of the most key things about Smash Ultimate is the victory themes for each character. Going through them all, there are 50 altogether. If you don't consider Kazuya, because Kazuya doesn't really have a theme. He actually just doesn't have a theme, actually, so there's that. Alright, so I'm gonna rank them all, and I'm gonna go through them all very quickly, because again, there are f***ing 50 of them, so there you go. Okay. Also, if the theme is pretty much the exact same theme as the games, like, it won't get any higher on the list because, yeah, I would have loved to see a, a remix or something, but a couple of them don't really have that pleasure. Alright, because I want to transition into disappointed! This is a clear last place. I sadly thought this game was going to get something actually special when they got their unexpected debut in Smash Ultimate late into the DLC. So when I heard it, it felt underwhelming at first, but re-listening it made me realize they didn't even alter the music. Ladies and gents, and everyone in between, let me introduce the worst victory theme in Smash Ultimate. It's... Steve. I seriously can't fathom this. There's so many tracks from the game they could have used. The main theme, any of the literal tracks that are used as items, hell, even dungeons, but instead, they reused the achievement music. They didn't even remix it. They just transferred it over and called it a day. It's not even a fitting music for something after winning a match. This is literally just a rare achievement, and that's it. If anything, it feels a lot more like an insult because the game is basically telling you, wow, that's a rare achievement you made. You actually finally won a game. So yeah, I can't think of a different victory theme more fitting of the bottom spot.
I wish I had the inherent confidence it takes to look at all of these cool and fun characters and think, I'm the best option actually.
Here's another one with wasted potential. Of course, the Mii's are a way to fill in for characters that never made it on the roster, like Shantae, Doomslayer, or Gino, etc., or Sans, but in their core, they come from the Wii itself and following consoles. Why is this important to state? Because Smash uses none of the classic tracks involving the Mii's, instead remixing Smash Ultimate's own theme like they did for Smash 4, and it's... rough. Seriously, they couldn't use anything from the Mii games, not for the Mii channel, or the Mii Parade, any of the Mii Makers, Wii Sports Resort, Wii Party, Miitopia, Tamagotchi Life, hell, even lesser known games like Wii Play and Wii Music. I get that Smash sees the Mii's as their own characters, but in a sense, the potential was there and was unfortunately never utilized.
Word up, Yoshi Sor Munchakoopas is my name, and I'ma tell you how I beat the IRS at their own game.
Smash Brawl and Smash 4 had a pretty nice theme for Yoshi. Unfortunately, as a way to shorten time for some themes, due to Sakurai's vision of a more fast-paced Smash experience, they... butchered it. Taking that ending from his victory theme feels like the equivalent to having the sensation to sneeze, only for it to suddenly stop. So big f*** you to Nintendo on that one.
Do you have any history of mental illness in your family?
I have an uncle who does yoga.
I never had any strong feelings towards Wii Fit Trainer. Honestly, they tried is the best way to describe everything involving those two. From their inclusion being so strange, to their moveset, to their theme, which, in fairness, is tough to make a victory theme out of the theme of freaking Wii Fit of all things. So this... was probably the best they could do. Still not a fan of it, though.
Look, a fairy!
Oh, sorry, dude. I killed that fairy.
Ah, what a beautiful theme. Easily top 5 in both Smash Brawl and 4. Now, I wonder how it translates to Ultimate... oh. Yeah, unfortunately another victim of the theme shortening. This time an original theme that's not stellar. On top of that, they still rope Ganondorf in here, and if I'm being honest, this theme would have worked for Ganondorf and could have excused it. Would it be good? No, not really, but it would have been more fitting. Hell, do some editing and you can make a better one for him. Overall, a massive downgrade and a sad case considering how I feel about the previous one.
Oh shit, here comes Pac-Man.
Yo, 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 yo! What it is, motherfucker?
Okay, so the next two are more circumstances of their themes not fitting a victory theme in Smash, so their remixes do feel somewhat haphazard. Of course, the title card very clearly showed Pac-Man, and it does try to get the spirit of the theme right, but it does feel clunky. Trying to even implement his sound in there for good measure, and it's not good. And the other one in this duo is... I just love how the announcer calls them as Duck Hunt, as if to avoid sounding like a certain word that I wouldn't even touch for YouTube, even through censorship. YouTube would still be antsy. Anyway, again, similar to Pac-Man in the theme not fit for Smash thing, they have the excuse that there's literally no other game that they could use. Pac-Man at least had Pac-Land or something. Also, the reason why it's a little higher is that it actually got sped up from the original in Smash 4, and it actually kind of improved it. Which is rare for Ultimate's arsenal. It's fine, I guess, but as an actual character in Smash, seriously, I don't know what people were doing 10 years ago advocating for this stupid dog, because I always hated that thing. So after he finally got a roster spot in Smash 4 alongside that duck from the game, the duo seemed very forgotten in the game now. And at best, they're a gimmicky character with a very kind of passable theme they have.
Third dimension? I can't picture that. You're dumb.
It's an interesting situation to make a character completely original for Smash like Mr. Game & Watch. A character made as the culmination of the many games on Nintendo's first major virtual console, the aforementioned Game & Watch. And with that, they had to make original tracks and only going off of his beeping noises for his tracks in Smash. So how did they translate that into a Smash victory theme? Honestly, not too bad. Dare I say, decently well for what materials they had to work with. People argue if this theme is based off of the track the Smash team made for Brawl Flat Zone 2. But I feel it's a bit of a stretch, and I think this is the only purely original theme they made from scratch. It was a bizarre concept to have Mr. Game & Watch included for Smash, and to be introduced as the final character in Melee, but he is also a very welcome one at that.
I saw a guy do this in a toothpaste ad once. Ta-da!
Welcome back, Ice Climbers! It's been way too long, and ever since they've gone back, I've been an absolute monster when playing them. As for their theme, it was a pretty good theme back in Brawl. But to shorten it, they seem to have combined the first and second half of the theme together. It's a little annoying that they couldn't play it in full.
Do you know where the nearest hot topic is? Zawarudo!
Don't get in the comments making assumptions that despite a theme going number 41, it automatically means that the theme sucks. While it's ranked low, it just means that it's the least good out of the good tier. With that said, Dark Pit's theme's kind of disappointing. What I mean by this is that Dark Pit has a really great theme in Kid Icarus Uprising. I love it. So the transition into how they turned this solid theme into feels like a definite downgrade, where it went from great to just kinda good.
Shapes and colors the likes of which I've never seen.
Yet another entry into the vastly inferior versions of victory themes in previous Smash games. Actually, this one has a sad distinction of being worse than the two previous victory themes. This, of course, is Ness and Lucas's theme, representing the Mother/Earthbound franchise. Seriously, the best one easily is from Melee, with this one being... fan-frickin-tastic. Brawl's was also pretty good, too. but they had to make a brand new track, and it's definitely the weakest. With that said, it's good, but definitely too short.
So I must be in this race, haha! Very well, but you know I am not really your father, haha! Oh!
Okay, this one personally peeves me. Yes, this theme is good, but as someone who absolutely loves this character with a heavy bias towards his melee theme, which is arguably a top 5, hell, even top 3 theme in Melee, Captain Falcon's theme, which was the same since Brawl, can't rank much higher. I understand that since Melee, he got a new installment in his franchise, F-Zero GX, hence using the theme as inspiration for the Brawl one, but it felt like a downgrade even from that theme. Going from the wonderful race victory theme from GX to I still love Captain Falcon, hence not putting him any lower, but still, yikes, I'm sad that this couldn't get any better. So take my pity points while you can, Falcon, because you need them since Nintendo hasn't given you a new actual installment in over 20 frickin' years.
Heads up!
I actually have not much to say about the Inkling theme in Smash. It is by definition the weakest victory theme made for Smash Ultimate's new characters. Outside of that abhorrent nothing that Steve provided us. It's a standard decent entry, with the caveat being it's above Captain Falcon solely off the fact I have less problems with their interpretation of their original theme. My only thing is that I have more of an inconsistency thing with Smash Ultimate's theme as a whole. In the original theme, it has a loop after the theme. And Ultimate cut that loop for some time reasons, right? So tell me why Cloud, Sephiroth, and Joker kept theirs?
We're the Mario Brothers, and plumbing's a game. We're not like the others who get all the fame.
Yep, it's the Mario theme. It's the safe, nothing to be excited for theme that is good in a musical sense, but definitely not worth putting any higher. Next.
Hysterical!
Same as Mario, it's definitely the Kirby theme, but with what we got, it certainly fit the tone of Kirby as a whole way more than the Mario theme. King Dedede doesn't even feel out of place here, considering Kirby has teamed up with him in the past. It's cute and perfect for Kirby, just nothing truly special as a theme.
Oh, hey, Pikachu, I choose you! Go! Pikachu!
With Pokemon, it is also a victim of that theme shortening curse in Smash Ultimate. Cutting out that last part doesn't feel as obvious as Yoshi's theme, but also doesn't feel like a huge downgrade, going from an 8 out of 10 to a 7 out of 10 one.
Is that good? Yay!
Finally, a theme I don't know offhand. Many, and I do mean many Smash fans knew that some way or another Dragon Quest was gonna find their way into Smash Ultimate. Mainly because their most famous hero, Drake, was the closest thing to Goku. Lo and behold, the second slot of the DLC characters, the hero finally got revealed, and it was finally time to see one of Japan's biggest franchises after decades of waiting to finally get their shot. The main hero wasn't Erdrick as expected, but they did add 3 other ones in the costume slots, and guess who showed up? So finally we got them, and the theme is pretty good, making everything as a package all worth it. Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama.
Tragic events in history. Sonic's death. When jumping out of a plane, he forgot his parachute.
Oh hey, it's Animat's 7 and 8 out of 10 music. No, okay, but for real, Sonic has a really good theme with some faults to it. While it is a remix of the classic Sonic 3 victory music, this rendition is the exact same music as the one from Sonic 06. Just sped up a slight because apparently 9 seconds is too much, so you have to cut it to 8.5.
Just then, the witch...
I have no feelings towards Bayonetta. After dealing with her bullshit in Smash 4, many people booed when she was confirmed for Ultimate. As for her origin, it does copy half its theme from Bayonetta 2's theme directly, while putting the first Bayonetta's verse clear theme together with it to create... my personal dislike of what Bayo was in Smash 4, and also the themes that come after her, lands her in this spot.
Monkey.
We have another case of a theme I preferred from Melee with Donkey Kong. Honestly, this theme seems almost too cheery for Donkey Kong. I do like the use of bongos here because that was his thing after Melee, but it's still too lighthearted. Like seriously, is this the face you want to see with this backdrop? I honestly prefer Melee's more because it's got that upbeat tone with some extra instruments that fit DK way better. I still do like it, but it's still too joyful, even for something like a victory theme. Hell yeah, Banjo and Smash, baby!
Yeah,
let's go! Hell yeah! Seriously, Banjo was my top one in Smash Ultimate, and the third slot of the DLC was the iconic duo, and it was the most hyped I felt for any Smash announcement. It took so damn long, but I'm glad we got Banjo and Kazooie in Smash, and their theme does the original theme justice. I will say the original theme at first doesn't seem like it would fit Smash for the victory themes, but they did find a solid way of making it happen. Am I hella biased for putting Banjo this high on the list? Absolutely, but I could care less, honestly.
The smelly smell that smells smelly.
Wario! Yes, I did the Shane Realist thing he did with his Wario analysis video, because honestly, I don't know how to introduce this absolute madman other than that. His theme is also quite good. Again, though, they sped it up again, which seems to be a pattern at this point. Also, it's an odd choice that while Wario is used as the rep for his WarioWare games, the fact they used the theme music for another series of his Wario Land, specifically Shake It for the Wii, is strange. Overall, it's still pretty damn good regardless. I mean, it's good enough that they haven't changed it since Brawl, except for, again, that speed up bullshit, but whatever.
Quit. Don't quit. Noodles.
On the topic of themes being out of place for their character, half of that is true for Min Min. While the half that makes sense is the main theme for ARMS, it also implements the theme for Ribbon Girl? That's an odd choice for sure, and it gives me the theory that Ribbon Girl was originally planned as the choice for Smash before the ARMS devs said they'd rather have Min Min. I mean, fair enough, I do prefer her over Ribbon Girl anyways, so good move on the devs for that one. Even if plenty of people didn't want an ARMS rep in the first place, including me. Another technically original character, it's the accessory for the NES, Rob. Yes, this guy gets in, and not someone like Rayman. I don't know how to comprehend that, but in all honesty though, his theme is pretty nice. I don't know if it's fully original or vaguely based around this theme, but it's fun, rightfully upbeat, and has been rightfully unchanged since Brawl.
This Disney DVD is enhanced with Disney's Fast Play.
Yeah, of course I'm talking about Sora. The character that was partially owned by Disney was seen as a long-awaited but seemingly not possible character to be in Smash, but with the last slot in the entire game of Ultimate, he appeared. His theme isn't that strong in a vacuum, but what it represents does elevate it. Since he was the last fighter announced, his theme could also be a perfect way to cap the game off as a whole. It's the perfect ending theme. So glad to finally have you here, Sora. Woo! Finally at the halfway point. and to share my thoughts on a franchise that got me interested through quarantine.
I am the law! Mayor, please! I am Mayor!
Animal Crossing, using their original theme from the GameCube. And makes it into... It fits well, and honestly kind of sweet, and perfectly fit the tone of the game. Of course, it's got its speed up thing again, and honestly, I prefer the Smash 4 version. With a game like Animal Crossing, a social simulation game with mostly cute animal characters is definitely a weird inclusion for a game where people get their teeth kicked in, but whatever, I love this franchise anyway, and I'm glad to have both the Villager and Isabelle have their spotlight.
The bugs! They're all around me!
Oh dear.
This one sounds strange as hell. From a music perspective, and with all these sound effects, it doesn't sound like much for most themes. But for a franchise like Pikmin, it fits perfectly well. Once again, they haven't changed this theme since Brawl, thankfully, and they were able to make a theme that doesn't fit too well as a Smash Victory theme, but for Olimar, it's acceptable.
There is nothing I like more than space.
As we head into a direct middle of the Mario themes, we have Rosalina and her little Luma.
The only hope is the sweet relief of death.
Able to use the original Mario Galaxy music, and do just enough to get a pretty good victory theme. Take a shot every single time I've said theme up until this point. Actually don't, because you'll die. I love Frank show so much. Anyway, another long-awaited character from Brawl, the man who will unveil the iconic "Everyone is here" banner for the big roster reveal in Smash Ultimate, where every character that Smash has had throughout its history made it onto this roster. I'm laughing that they kept the Brawl victory theme for him, because this is the music when Snake dies, I swear to God. I have memories with Street Fighter. My personal experience was playing Street Fighter 2 off of a website where I mained Balrog and Dhalsim and had an absolute blast. So it was nice to have Ryu in the cast, and then his American equal, Ken, in Ultimate. I will say, it's the fighting games that probably improved the most from their original victory themes. We'll see later with this best in that niche category with the underrated Terry, but for now... Genuinely great stuff right there. If you're wondering which I play more, it's Ken. He's faster and the fire is cool, and I could play Ryu fine, but he just feels a little bit too slow, but that's just probably a me thing.
Happy feet, wombo combo. That ain't Falco. That ain't Falco. Oh, oh, oh,
Okay, enough jokes. Fox is iconic in his own right. I mean, his voice lines alone are fantastic.
Come on, fire!
And if you ask anybody the first character they think of when they think of Smash Melee, majority would likely say Fox. There's a reason the title card I used for this segment is the iconic Melee competitive clip. As for his, and by proxy Falco and Wolf's theme, I may prefer the Melee one too, actually. But it's solid. Although, my personal opinion, Wolf should have gotten his own theme.
It's so crazy that Nintendo fans will play every single Nintendo game besides Fire Emblem.
Yep, every Fire Emblem victory theme makes within the top 20. Cope. Seriously though, I do enjoy my time with Fire Emblem. When I was first introduced to this franchise through Melee with Marth and Roy, I saw them as cool as Brawl introduced me to Ike, who is my favorite of the cast shown in Smash. I play him a ton, actually. And the rest we'll get to eventually. Seriously, give this franchise a shot because these games are so good, from Sacred Stones to Three Houses to Engage to even the mobile game of all things. There's something good for everyone. Many spots after Dark Pit, we finally get to Regular Pit and Palutena's theme, which is infinitely better than both Dark Pit and the original game's ear-piercing music. Ugh. Anyway, yeah, this is a massive upgrade. Again, another one that was unchanged since Brawl for a really good reason. I absolutely love Pit as a fighter, and I've been trying so hard to find a copy of Uprising because I hear it's so underrated and 3DS games are becoming more rare and pricey by the day, which includes this one. Ugh, God. Hell yeah, King K. Rool and Smash, baby! Okay, I'm not gonna do that bit again, but yeah, this was another big thing that I was happy for to see in Smash. Decades of waiting, and we thankfully got these 3 in Smash. Or 4, but we'll get to that one in a second. King K. Rool has such a great theme to match his raw, unbridled power he provides in the game. And this is why at least most of the villains should get separate themes, because themes like this are so damn great. I love it.
He burnt my Krabby Patty.
He burnt my fries.
He burnt my shake.
Oh hey, there's Terry. So yeah, this is the other fighting game character I talked about earlier, where the theme is vastly better than the original to an even better degree. Going from whatever that is to Terry is such an overlooked character in the DLC, and it's a shame. Maybe it's the fact that the leak revealed the company SNK was involved, and most people knew off the bat it was gonna be Terry anyway, so the hype wasn't that strong. The other reason could be that people fear his actual fighting game inputs implemented into his moveset. Honestly, I'm the same way. I hate those complicated inputs. Why? However, I still love Terry because he's so damn cool, and I will die on this hill. Well, it certainly was a surprise that the character from the very first Smash that outlasted the rest was Samus. First of all, there's a reason. And 2, because of the absolute downfall that Link and the gang endured. Man, that sucked. So yeah, the theme for Samus and Samus Without a Suit, aka the worst one, is still pretty great. I've run out of nicknames, leave me alone. Dragon! Hey look, the worst character of all the Fire Emblem reps. Seriously, people accuse Byleth of being a marketing scheme for their inclusion, but here's the thing. Three Houses is a top-notch game. While it's so easy to say that Corrin's inclusion was a marketing scheme, considering the game wasn't even released worldwide until months after they got released in the Smash DLC. Keep this in mind, they released Corrin in Smash before Chrom did. I don't know how the hell that was possible. And with all that, somehow in Ultimate, the victory theme they gave them was surprisingly great? What? The respect they gave Corrin is so surprising because this is Corrin we're talking about. F***ing Corrin!
Are you crazy? This will never work. Oh, Mufasa, you've been up there too long. Your head is in the clouds.
Yes, I could complain about the Square bias, that they've just have their full themes compared to the others, but it seems redundant, so let's just talk Cloud. I could talk about his funky anime hair, or his hilariously oversized sword, phrasing, but for now, let's get to the rendition of his theme that, since it goes on forever, I'll use on loop as the background music for the rest of this segment. You see, it never ends. I remember when Cloud was first confirmed, and I was floored. The fact that the Cloud Strife from the Final Fantasy VII got his spot. It really opened up the possibility that anyone could join Smash. And it was beautiful.
Now that's a katana.
Now it's time for the guy from Final Fantasy VII with the crazy ass hair with a disproportionately large sword. But this time, he's evil now. And also with costume alts without his shirt, to the excitement of many and to the dismay of me. You bet your ass I'm letting that shit play in the background again. Hell yeah, this is a spectacular theme for such an iconic villain. Yes, Sephiroth felt very out of nowhere when he was announced for the Smash Ultimate DLC, but he was also very welcome because it was a very pleasant surprise. My only thing against this theme is that it technically is a reused theme. Not from any game, but specifically from a movie adaptation of a game with Advent Children in 2005. But that's very nitpicky, and I can't say more except, yeah, Sephiroth rules. What more can be said?
Ow! Did you bite me? Yeah, but only after you bit me. Wait, does this mean we're vampire werewolves?
I'm gonna be fully honest. I haven't touched much with Castlevania. I've always known about the games, and I tried playing 2 on a browser just like with Street Fighter, but I don't got much out of it. But however, that didn't stop me from really getting excited for Simon Belmont finally getting his shot. And out of nowhere, another Belmont! Richter showed up, and I didn't know who the hell he was, but he looked cool, and goes so damn hard, it's crazy. But yeah, this theme is rad as hell, and was able to combine the original theme and get great sounding electric guitars in there. Does it make sense for guys in the 1800s to be represented with electric guitars? Definitely not. However, it doesn't stop it from being absolutely fantastic to listen to. Maybe I'll go back to one of the old titles, or maybe one of the newer ones to get a full grasp on Castlevania as a whole. Hell, maybe even the anime, because I've been meaning to watch that one too.
Hello.
I absolutely love Punch-Out! Is this game undoubtedly merciless? Yes. But is it hella rewarding to see your opponent get taken down after a while of figuring out their sometimes really fast attack patterns? Most definitely. Another rendition of a classic theme, one I've heard numerous times at this point because I've made it up to Mr. Sandman and I haven't touched it much since I drew him back in February of 2024. But still, this theme is just perfect. And I'm so glad I'm able to give my main man Mac his spot in the top 10.
My wife is on fire! Oopsie.
Fire Emblem isn't the only one to have consistently great sounding soundtracks. Another RPG of Nintendo's, Xenoblade Chronicles, absolutely shines in that department too. So of course, both themes hit the top 10. First one being Pyra and Mithra's theme from the second game in the franchise. And again, if this is the lesser of the two tracks and these gals are at number 9, you know the folks at Monolith cooked big time with their tracks.
Luigi, look! It's from Bowser!
It was a pleasant surprise at the time that Bowser got his own separate theme from the Mario cast in Smash 4, after sharing it with said cast in both Melee and Brawl. And of course, you see by his placement, it's absolutely warranted. Of course, he's not the only one with this theme, as his son and the Koopalings, who occupy one roster slot, and the very unexpected and unwanted, but also surprisingly fun gameplay-wise, Piranha Plant got in to join the fun too. I've always been a fan of this theme, and I'm happy more villains got their own separate themes soon after.
I can see the future!
It didn't take long, but here we are again with Xenoblade. This time, it's the lead of the first game, Shulk. And honestly, I will say now, I don't know much about this franchise, but damn do they make some killer music. Repetitive is to say now because I've sung my praise literally seconds ago for this franchise. Yeah, sure, but however... Seriously, how does nobody talk about Xenoblade when it comes to their soundtracks? Because these soundtracks are freaking awesome!
How can you protect Chrom if you can't protect yourself?
You. Time to talk about the other big RPG franchise from Nintendo again. This time it's from Fire Emblem Awakening, the most famous installment in the franchise, and they did the game's justice. Of course, the characters we saw in the title card are all represented with this track, like the protagonist Robin, Chrom, the recent addition of the three, who for a few months for some reason had the default Fire Emblem victory theme? What? And Lucina, Chrom's daughter, who showed up in Smash and said,
"Hey, let me take all the cool moves that Marth had and take it for myself."
Awakening is good. Play it.
Oh, dude, that was not even fantasy. That's just an alien.
We're technically done with the villains now, Reason why I say it's debatable is because there's one character left. Although, if you ask me, they're a lot more of an anti-hero, so this is the last villains theme we have left. If a certain character doesn't count as a villain, this is hands down the best villain theme in Smash with the Metroid villains, aka the bad guys for Samus. So go back to the Samus one 10 spots ago and go back to this, because imagine that theme, but give it a dynamic evil overhaul and you get pure bliss. Bliss was definitely not the word I'd use to describe something that sounds like the soundtrack from Hell, and no, I'm not talking Has-Been, but yeah, the theme rules. Speaking of, should I rank all the Has-Been songs? I feel like that could be funny. In all seriousness though, the theme does spectacularly on capturing the villainous tone, and I knew there was no reason I couldn't put it in at least the top 5.
Hello and welcome to Standing Up School. And you fail.
Yes, that's right. Byleth made number 4. Cry about it. Seriously, I can't praise Smash enough for doing so much justice to Fire Emblem as a whole, and seeing Smash fans who never even stepped foot into the franchise even a little makes me sad, because they're seriously missing out. Now, since I first heard this, I knew that it was one of the best themes in the whole game. There's not more to say on the Fire Emblem praise that I haven't said already. So with that, all that's left to say is, play Three Houses, it's amazing, also, Golden Deer forever! And now the most common thing you'll hear in Smash Brawl. Iconic. Who knew that making a metal cover for the Kirby theme would turn out this top-notch? A badass song for, at the time, a top-notch badass character before he got significantly nerfed once Smash 4 came around. But yeah, tournaments were flooded with Meta Knight players, because he was an absolute demon during those days, and there was a unanimous choice on which character was the undisputed best character in Brawl. So yeah, an absolute icon, and there's no way I can never shout him out. Also, his quotes are fantastic.
Come back when you can put up a fight. You've much yet to learn. Victory is my destiny.
Yes, perhaps he is behind this snow job.
Don't f with me! I have the power of God and anime on my side! Wait,
Honestly, some of the best music out of video games in general. So much so that there's not just one, but 3 full tracks for one character, and that is Joker. So with that big compliment out of the way, why isn't it at the very top? Well, these wonderful themes, while amazing, if you would remember what I said at the start, if a theme doesn't change, it won't get higher on the list. So while Persona has a fantastic soundtrack, and 3 full-length themes, putting these themes at number 1 when they themselves don't change feels like a cop-out. With that said, these are still fantastic, and express not just 1 but 3 installments of the franchise. We got the themes for Persona 4, and Persona 3. What more is there to say? I love these tracks, and one day I'll actually play the games because I've never heard anything but praise from it. So I'm happy that even for a game I have no real experience from outside of my friend playing one of the first missions with that scummy gym teacher that genuinely made me so uncomfortable that I wanted to smite that man myself, prison sentence be damned. But regardless, yeah, it's Persona, and from what I can gather, it's fantastic, and so are the 3 wonderful pieces of music that follow.
This game's winner is...
I mean, when I say this was a number 1 that was tough to decide. I had thoughts about Ridley and Dark Samus taking the spot, or maybe Byleth. Hell, even Meta Knight was a last-second inclusion for the top 5. However, one theme stands out to me. One that does a fantastic job representing a franchise I adore so much. The stars aligned perfectly, from picking the perfect theme music to base it on, to the perfect instruments that sound both amazing and fit well with this franchise. So with that said and done, my #1 best victory theme in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has to go to
Mega Man!
I could say with confidence that Mega Man absolutely deserves the top spot. It's not because my bias or anything, because I love that franchise for over a decade. Otherwise, if bias was in play, stuff like Pokemon and Captain Falcon would have been way higher. But it's actually each piece that melds beautifully. From picking the best theme in the franchise, the intro to Mega Man 2, and mixing that with the electric rock and roll music, which fits so well with Mega Man's world. I mean, we literally have the main characters named Rock and Roll, as well as a few others with music sounding names like Bass or Beat or Treble and stuff like that. Yeah, this franchise is overall just fantastic. Combine all of that together and you get easily my favorite theme in Smash Ultimate. This is perfection. This is the peak. Not much more to describe this absolute f***ing masterpiece with every aspect going for it. Congratulations, Mega Man, you absolute f***ing legend. And that's everything. My definitive ranking of every Smash Ultimate victory theme. Am I gonna calm the hell down and make some much shorter rankings in the future? Most definitely. I will do actual song rankings, like I've had a Disney Villains one brewing for a while, or even specific media like the recent Wicked, or Tick Tick Boom, which is very underrated. Seriously, check it out. Oh my god, seriously. Anyway, and after recording this back in January, I will say K-Pop Demon Hunters absolutely shines in the soundtrack department, so I might actually put that as the next ranking, who knows. As for any future projects, that's completely up in the air at the moment. One idea I had in mind was reviewing a bunch of Oz projects, which will be really fun, but please don't watch Legends of Oz Dorothy's Return, it is so bad, oh my god. And yeah, that's everything, so I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.